is an international designer and the founder of Veejay Floresca. Now based in California, this inspiring individual continues to make men and women all over the world look and feel their best through amazing and beautifully designed pieces.
And welcome to another episode of In Love With Me series, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for today's episode, we have a beautiful individual that I respect, I am inspired by daily. He is one of my favorite designers, and without further ado, let me introduce you guys to Veejay Floresca, all the way from California. Hello!
Hi, Mafae. How are you?
Thanks for being with me today.
Yes, of course.
Good. I'm so happy to finally catch up with you.
Good, I know. Right?
Before we get into what you've been up to, please share with everyone on how you became the empowered individual you are today.
Okay. First is I have a lot of dogs, so if ever you hear like dog barking, I have like huskies. But anyway, going back to your question, I think first is how I define the word empowerment. And to me, the definition of empowerment is being able to have the power to control your life. And I don't believe in the saying that I don't have a choice, because actually we all have our choices. And I think that I just, I'm not saying that I'm very good with decision making or with all my choices. I've had a lot of failures too. But one of the best things about me that made me an empowered woman is that the ability to stand up every time I fall. I think that we as individuals should always think that nothing is perfect. Nobody is perfect. But your ability to stand up and to learn from your mistakes is something that we should learn to embrace. Because if we're able to do that, we can overcome all the obstacles or the challenges along the way. And as what they say, just enjoy the ride, because it's not going to be perfect. There's a lot of things that, we will all experience. But if we learn to just enjoy the ride and to stand up every time we fall, then we're all going to be empowered people, not just women, but empowered individuals.
Winner. I've seen you. Oh, I've known you for years.
Yeah.
You were part of some of my special moments. You were able to, or I was able to walk the runway wearing your beautiful creations. Where did the passion of designing start?
Well, I grew up very creative, and my mom knows how to sew clothes, but she's not really a professional seamstress. And then my dad is a lawyer, so I kind of like have the ability to think and to design and to create. So I think that's one thing that I love about myself. And I remember that when I was still, like elementary or high school, all my classmates always want me to be their class artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I want to be like the class president or, the class secretary, I always end up in that position because of my creativity. And my creativity brought me to where I am. My creativity brought us together, because I've known you as Miss World Philippines and as a model. And, working with you is one thing that I always want, because I appreciate every woman. I just don't work with one certain type of woman. woman. I work with different types of women because that's what my life as a designer is every day, So working with you is always fun, and yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I was still able to model for you. We
Yes.
crossed paths because when I was in San Francisco, that's when you were planning to move there. And then I ended up coming back to the Philippines. I still was able to be part of your last Despedida show
I know.
in the Philippines before you went
Yeah.
to San Francisco.
San Francisco. That's yeah.
And
I
there,
remember
that's
that.
the
Your life
photo.
uses. Yes,
Yeah,
that
I
was
was so happy to be one of your muses.
mm-hmm.
So with that, Vijay, can you share with us on how you decided to have that leap of faith on taking the risk in moving to a new environment, and what was going through your mind? What were your plans, and are you happy with what the result and outcome it is? Until now.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I get that question all the time, and I think that every time people ask me why I left the Philippines, I always tell them that um, I wanted to challenge myself. I think it may sound like a Miss Universe answer, but I mean, I loved my life in the Philippines. I couldn't ask for anything more because I was so happy with my job. I was so happy with my career. I was so happy with my life. But there's a time in your life where you will experience or you will realize that something is missing. And the reason why I decided to leave the Philippines is because I wanted to find that missing piece that I didn't find when I was still in the Philippines. And if you're going to ask me if I am happy, I would say that yes, I'm very, very happy. Although I miss my family, especially my mom, because she's still in the Philippines. But I'm just really lucky that I'm able to talk to her every day, and to go back at least once a year in the Philippines to see my friends, my clients. I mean, my mom. It's not easy. It's really hard because I gave up a lot of things. I gave up my career, I gave up my life, and but everything is worth it. If I'm going to choose to do it again, I will still choose to move here in the United States because this is now my home.
And with that, I know that you may have off days, where you feel unmotivated or it's a big challenge. How do you change the mindset in a positive way?
That's a good question. Of course, I'm just a human being. There are always morning where, oh my God, like what I'm gonna do with my life, or what would I do? Like I feel like I'm not motivated at all. But one thing that I always do is just I close my eyes and pray. It's like I have a very happy relationship with God. Like I'm not very religious, but I pray every morning, I pray every night, and I just always wake up um with a mindset that I need to accomplish something. I think it may sound as a cliche, but I am very passionate about my career, about my job. So I think my job is one of the things that motivates me to wake up every day and to do a lot of things. Because, being a fashion designer, especially here in the United States, where I'm like a one woman business where literally I do everything on my own. So that's enough reason for me to wake up and to make sure to run the business, to do all the orders and things like that. But it's very fulfilling. Like I really love everything about my job. So yeah.
I have to congratulate you, Vijay, because I follow you. I follow your journey, and it seems like there's always something new you're announcing with your product line, with, let's say, your local prides. How do you find, the inspiration on creating these designs?
Well, first is, every time I work with a bride, my inspiration is really the bride. I've done custom wedding dresses for almost like 12 years or 13 years or even more. And one of the things that I've learned in that experience is that when you work with a client, it's always a collaboration between the client and the designer. So I need to make sure that what makes the bride comfortable, or what's her personal style. Is she the minimalist, or is she the fully beaded type of bride? So the bride is always my number one inspiration every time I work with them. But when I design a collection, my inspiration always, it starts from simple things, like from a painting or from a fabric or from a particular artwork. That's one thing I like about my job or about fashion, is that when hindi boring eh. Like, when you're in fashion, it's always changing. And that what makes our industry colorful and vibrant, is because every day there's always something to do. So yeah, super. I'm just really lucky that I'm in this kind of industry, because it's always very fun and beautiful.
I think we were really blessed with, the peak of the fashion industry in the Philippines, during the time where Fashion Week was
I
happening.
know.
There's a fashion show every other week, it seems. And how did you feel during that time? Because it felt like it was a huge competition with designers. There
Yes.
was a lot of new designers,
Yes.
and it was fun as a model because, we were lucky to wear your creations. But you as a designer, how did you feel being compared to other designers? Especially you were up and coming.
That's a good question. Competition is, it's very cutthroat. In the fact, sabi nga, di ba, ni Heidi Klum, in Project Runway, is that in fashion, one day you're in and the next day you're out, and it's absolutely true. I agree completely. But I think, like, you just need to compete with yourself. You don't need to compete with the rest of the designers, because if you do that, it will just destroy your reputation, and it will destroy you as a person. People want to work with designers who are kind. People want to work with designers who know how to listen, who are professional, rather than you're the most creative or you're the best designer, but if you have an attitude, I don't think that people want to work with you. So I think that's one of the things that I still want to, to remain as who I am today. Like, even though when I was in the Philippines, where like, my career is already there, like, I remain to be humble. I don't want to be tagged as the madam designer, where, they're so afraid to work with you anymore. So yeah, and just learn to reinvent yourself and to stay in your lane. Like, because every designer, we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. Like, we all have our own aesthetic, and I think that it's really important to stay in your lane, but at the same time to also reinvent yourself. And fashion in the Philippines versus fashion here in the United States, super magkaiba. Like, it's not really the same. That's why when I first came here, it was a huge struggle. Super. Especially that, I'm just by myself. Like, I don't have sewers, I don't have mga mananahe or beaders. Wala akong parang manang pagawa naman ako nito or manang pa-beads nito, di ba, wala. So I had to learn every single thing, from pattern drafting, from draping, from beading, and like, yeah, I was able to learn it through experience. So I'm able to run the business here, and yeah. Mahirap, pero worth it naman.
And that's what's amazing about you, Vijay, is that you were able to be a one lady show, and not everybody realizes how challenging it is to build a business overseas outside of the Philippines. We're actually very blessed here because it's easy to have a lot of help. But for you, like you said, you did it on your own. You were able to educate yourself more. You were able to network and understand what the international level are doing as far as in the design world.
Yes.
You have Veronica Escasena here saying the shirt says it all. You're such an incredible, empowered woman. Love it. And I do love your shirt. I love your tagline with that because anything women empowerment is something that I am in love with. So in a line with what's happening right now, of course we're in quarantine. I don't know what the level is there. You're in San Francisco, right, Vijay?
Los Angeles, yeah, in California, yeah,
You're in LA now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
okay, so during this time, what did you learn new about yourself?
okay. I learned to follow rules. I learned to respect the people who are leaders because they were elected for reasons. And like I talk to my friends every day, like I talk to my family every day. I talk to my friends every day. And we always talk about what is going on. And one thing that I realized is that in one epidemic, your life can change. I mean, our lives have changed. Who would have thought that with this kind of virus, people are, I mean, I don't want to focus on the negative side where like people died and people are dying. But like what you said, what did I discover about myself is that we need to appreciate every single thing that we have because you don't know that in a next day or next hour it's gonna be taken away from you. So yeah, it's really scary, but we need to be thankful that we're healthy, especially here in the United States where the government is very helpful. They give you support financially, so I'm really thankful for that.
Mm-hmm. So with that, Vijay, do you have like a morning routine, your morning habits or your daily mantra that you go by?
Yeah, but I'm a very low maintenance woman. Like I rarely wear makeup. Like right now, I had to put a little bit so I look prettier with you. You know what I mean? But every day I wake up around like 7 in the morning, and then I sleep at night like around 10 or 11. Like I need to make sure that I have 8 hours of sleep. That if there's one thing that I always make sure at least 8 hours of sleep, and then every morning I shower, brush my teeth, those kind of things. But and moisturizer. I always put moisturizer, and then that's it. Like I'm a very low maintenance, and yeah.
Simple joys. But during this time also, I see that you are launching a lot of products, or you've been busy.
Yes.
Can you share about those products that you're launching or announcing?
Yeah. So as we all know, my main business is about designing wedding dresses, and because of the quarantine or because of the COVID-19 situation, most or majority of the weddings have been canceled or postponed. So as an entrepreneur, I need to find other ways to earn money or to have income, or else I'm gonna die, or else, I'm not gonna have any money or source of income. So what I did is I started making masks, and it's actually, like it wasn't really planned. I have a friend who works as a nurse who asked me to make masks for her. And then I'm like, she's really a very close friend of mine, so I couldn't say no. So I said, okay, yes, I'll do masks for you. And when I started posting it online, I've been getting a lot of inquiries if I sell them. And I'm like, okay, people want to buy them. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sell them. And then that's how it started. I sold masks, and at the same time, when I already have the, like the budget to donate, then I started making masks to donate. Because if you've been, following my journey, I never asked for monetary donations. I mean, there's people who did that. In my case, it's like I want to donate something that came from me. So that's what I did. And then since it kind of slowed down already because I think everybody already have their own mask, so I'm like, what's next with me? So I started designing t-shirts. So this is one of the designs, Incredible Woman, because I just don't want to design shirts for people to wear. I want to design something for people to feel empowered, and I think wearing a shirt that says Incredible Woman, whether we like it or not, we feel good about ourselves. And that's what I want to do. I want to create things that would make you feel good about yourself. So, yeah, incredible. We are all incredible women. You need to wear this, Mafae, because you're an incredible woman.
Mm-hmm. My favorite actually is your totes. Can you
Yeah.
share about how that began?
Yeah, so this one I have it here too. Yeah. So my tote bags, yeah. So I mean I'm a
Yay.
tote girl person. I love tote bags because it's very easy. You can just throw a lot of things in it. And I decided to make totes because who doesn't want tote bags, right? But to make it different, I want to create something with unique prints. Because there's a lot of totes out there. So how can your tote stand out from the rest? And that is by the print. So yeah, there.
Mhm.
I love it. I have a lot of
And
orders.
I know,
It got sold out. So
I know. I was like, oh, how do I get that over here? That's good. So, BJ, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that look up to you that would love to follow your footsteps. What would you share with them on how to prepare and start, especially for everyone that is at home and we have time to sit down and write, I guess, the planning. What's your advice for them on what to do right
well, that's a good question. I think the advice is that start from small. That's my basic business rule. Start from small because if you start from small, the risk is also very low. I don't suggest you guys to spend thousands of money in starting your own business. I mean, if you have the money or if you have the capital, why not? But for people like me or for people like stay at home moms who don't have the capital, just start small. And then when you start small, slowly, baby steps, and make it big. Because that's how I started also
now?
before. Like I don't have any capital. I don't have any, business partner or financier to finance my business. So start small. Like, and also know where you're good at. Start small, know where you're good at. Like for example, me, I think I love sewing, or I love anything that has something to do with fabrics and thread. So that's my strength. So my business is about that. But if you're a mom who likes to bake, who likes to cook, why not? Or if you're a mom who likes plants, or you're good in those kind of things, I think start from small and start selling. So yeah, business is good, especially right now. People are at home, so they all just look online what to buy.
Hmm. So speaking of that, where can they find your products, Vijay? Maybe you can share the links or the
Mhm.
sites.
Yeah, of course. So you can go to shopfloresca.com to check out my tote bags and my t-shirts. There's only 4 items there right now because, like what I said, start from small, right? You don't need to start huge yet. Baby steps. Shopfloresca.com.
Mhm.
Free shipping in all the United States, and I do worldwide international shipping. Although, I mean, actually, I'm getting a lot of increase if I ship in the Philippines. I do. However, the shipping is going to be more expensive from the product. You know what I mean? So I don't encourage them to buy because it's ridiculous. Like if you buy the tote bags for $29 and you pay the shipping for $40, that's like not a good buy, not a good purchase. But yeah, support local.
Maybe you just need to send your mom like a whole box so she
Mhm.
can.
Yeah, I told my mom also to start her own business. We're kind of like thinking about it because my mom loves to cook and she's very good in plants. Like she really has a good green thumb. So maybe in the future, yeah.
Mhm. How about during this time, of course, we have to take care of our health. Is there something that you have that is new with your meals or your workouts that you could share with everyone?
Mhm. I believe that health is wealth. It sounds as a cliche. People hear that all the time, but we need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to eat healthy. Me, what I do is I eat twice a day. I don't eat breakfast, not because I'm trying to lose weight, but my breakfast is always a cup of coffee or sometimes a cookie or skyflakes. But I eat huge lunch and dinner. So that's what I do. I take vitamins, food supplements, nag-vitamins ako Centrum or, the gel liquid. But I take those vitamins and I eat a lot of vegetables. I love vegetables. I eat rice. I eat pork, chicken. Yeah, I'm not a vegetarian, but I think if given the chance, I think I can survive being a vegetarian because I love to eat vegetables.
Hmm. So, growing up, or even now, is there any mentors that you look up to,
Yeah,
or people that you idolize in the fashion industry that
yeah,
helped you with your journey?
a lot actually. I'm really fortunate that when I was still in the Philippines, the senior designers are very welcoming. Like Tito Frederick Peralta,
Mhm.
I mean, Mother Georgie Loren, Sister Alex Pigal. I mean, those designers that I look up to, they actually they kind of like
Mhm.
cared for me. Like I didn't really have any like traumatizing experience where these senior designers were like, sino tong bagets na to? No, they're very welcoming. So I'm really happy. I have so much respect with these designers. Carrie Santiago, Michael Cinco, these designers that even until now, sometimes I talk to them. So yeah, masaya ang fashion industry. And I actually miss them. I miss the fashion industry in the Philippines. Sana magkaroon ng bonggang reunion, di ba? Like after the COVID-19 where, like designers, Philippine designers join forces for after COVID-19, di ba? That's gonna be a nice project. Direk Robbie Carmona, how can I forget Direk Robbie? Napakabait, napaka-supportive. Yeah. Ay, nakat ka yata, Mafe.
I'm here. Sorry. So with that, we're so lucky to have
Mhm.
such amazing group of people that we grew up with in the fashion industry, and
Mhm.
until now they're all still successful, still mentoring
Yeah.
us. With you, I'm pretty sure you're still reaching out to them, asking them for
Mhm.
advice,
Super.
and we're grateful for them. All the names that you mentioned, it was really a peak of the fashion industry. Something that I will always cherish. I got to meet you there, and it was such
Yeah.
an amazing.
Direct Jackie, Aquino, I mean, these direct
Yes, Tito
Tito
Jackie.
Kata, Figueroa, di ba? Parang, and
Mhm.
you just mentioned it a while ago where we are very fortunate to experience the peak of fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like every day, 4 shows. I mean, that
Yes.
was just and one of the best times in fashion. So, ang saya.
And it's funny because I show my kids. Actually, my eldest son Nico,
Yeah.
he really researched on the shows back then because he's a
Yeah.
photographer. He took the photos of me in your last show here in the
Yeah.
Philippines. That was what, a year ago?
I think a year ago. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because actually, I don't know if I mentioned to you there, I was pregnant
Oh my
during that
God. I
show.
didn't even
So I was
know.
like, oh, I'm so happy I got to even be part of BJ's show. But yeah, how did you feel about that? Like, when you come to the Philippines and you connect with the other designers, with the models, how does it make you feel that you are, one of the international model international designers that people look up to here.
Yeah, I feel very welcome. Like I said, I'm I will be forever thankful. I will be forever thankful to all the people who helped me and who are still there to
Uh-huh.
support me, even though I'm already based here. It's
Yeah.
like every time I go back to the Philippines, every time I do shows in the Philippines, and sometimes I even do shows in the Philippines without being there.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I'm just really lucky. I respect all these people. I respect all these directors, producers
Mhm.
who give me the chance. Like,
Uh-huh.
even though I'm here, like, okay, let VJ be part of the show, and with
Mhm.
that, I'm very thankful. Like, napaka welcoming and napaka
Uh-huh.
mapagmahal talaga, mapag-alaga talaga. So yeah.
I'm going to bring back a really fun memory, I guess, that made you viral with your group of
Oh,
friends.
mhm.
It was something that I loved, like the reaction of you guys. Can you share that for the
Oh my
people that
God.
don't
That was
know why
2000,
VJ is famous
yeah,
online?
that was 2010 or 2009. I think 2009. Yeah, that was
Mhm.
talaga. That was 2009. It was it was just I couldn't even explain, but for diehard fans who are who just want to have fun, watch Miss Universe, and it happened that we recorded it and we didn't know that it's still recording. So that that reaction was completely raw. It wasn't edited, it wasn't scripted, and everybody who saw the video was able to relate on it, because that was also the same reaction that they had. The only difference is that yung sa amin na videohan, but I mean, we all know like Filipinos are the best fans in the world. So that's the reality, right?
It's so funny because you guys made a trend after that. Everybody wants to record themselves during an
I
announcement now,
know.
but there's only one.
Viral pageant
I
video
can't even
in
say
the
the word,
world.
but you guys were so awesome.
Yeah,
Oh my
and you know
gosh,
what? To make it even, like even Hollywood celebrities watch that video. Like wanna watch that video because Paris Hilton blogged about it, and we all know
oh
that.
wow.
Yeah, so like napanood na kami ng mga Hollywood celebrities. And even until now, di ba, minsan makikita mo pa rin talaga siya somewhere. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy.
always so amazing. What else can you share, VJ, that can inspire everybody, most especially right now? Maybe words of wisdom that you can give hope to
Yeah.
everyone.
Well, I just want to tell everybody, I mean, in the Philippines, in the United States, wherever you are, I just want to tell you that everything that we are experiencing right now is a result of, it's a result of, it's something that we need to it's something that we will overcome. Don't lose hope, have a positive mind, because this will pass. We will all overcome this, and we will just look at this as part of our history that will make us better people, that will make us better individuals. So don't lose hope. I mean, I've lost friends and it's very sad, but just listen to your government leaders, be cooperative. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but wear your mask when you're outside, practice proper hygiene, and treat yourself that you are infected. Because if you think that you are infected, then you are careful. So, and pray, and have a positive mind, and one day we will all go back to our own lives, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that to happen. Like I can't wait to travel, I can't wait to to hug people, to get our normal routine, and I'm pretty sure that we will all overcome this.
And with that, guys, I think to add, just be prepared. Like Vijay said, if you're wanting to become a designer, an international designer, this is the time for you to plan it. This is the time for you to look into aspiring or inspiring individuals like
Yeah.
Vijay on what they're doing. How are they taking this time as an opportunity, not just a challenge?
Yes.
Uh, Reach out to your friends and family. They're the ones that would lift you up always. So just to make sure that yourself is empowered. Surround yourself with those loved ones, with those people that will encourage you with positive words. Is there anything else you want to promote? I do love what's happening in your site, because as you
Yeah.
have so many
Thank
children.
you.
You
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
like
share that again?
as a small business owner, I encourage everybody to support small businesses. I mean, supporting a small business is not just buying our products, but you're buying a piece of us. And it's always good to be supportive. Like, if you're in the Philippines, shop local. There's a lot of small business owners in the Philippines who are selling masks or who are selling baked goods, selling plants. Support them, because this is the perfect time to do that, to uplift each other, to lift each other, and to support each other. So yeah. And if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are a person who is planning to start your own business, just do it. Like, when are you gonna do it, right? Just do it now. And yeah, marami namang taong to support sa iyo eh. So,
Exactly, exactly. With that, I want to thank VJ for taking the time. This is a perfect example, is that there's no hindrance or there's no excuses.
yes.
VJ is all the way in California. I'm in the Philippines, so we're able to catch up and connect again.
Yeah.
VJ is such a close friend of mine too, and I appreciate you giving your time and your words of wisdom to everyone, most especially right now. Takeaways from VJ
Yeah.
again is learn about yourself, learn the needs that you are feeling right now. It's okay. If you want to start a business, start small, be simple, just plan it out. You have the time. Eat healthy, get 8 hours sleep. That's the most important.
Yeah.
And if you want the extra moisturizing on the face, like what VJ is doing, I'm pretty sure VJ is open to more questions, or if you want to ask for advice on anything that has to do with what we shared today. I will share VJ's social media, and I will make sure that that he when you reach out, you can also reach out to me. VJ is more than happy to answer questions
Yeah.
now. So with that, guys, actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in for another episode of In Love with Me. Thanks, BJ.
Thank you, Mafae. Bye.
Thank you for everyone tuning in. Australia, Jackie, Jen, my mom, and then BJ's. I think you have a lot of fans watching.
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you for watching and Love of Me series.